The 2015 NFL Draft is officially open.
And so the 2015 draft is underway. The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock first. They do have new head coach Jedd Fisch, who didn't get the most warm welcome when he came into the league. I know 49ers fans may have been hoping for a bigger name. Jedd Fisch did a great job with the Denver Broncos as the offensive coordinator, getting them to a progressive seasons each year, so winning more games every season, coming off a 12-5 season as a whole. Now, the San Francisco 49ers had a lot of departures and challenges. They lost players like Drew Brees, their quarterback, which many anticipate is going to be the pick here. They also lost Haloti Ngata, one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Andy Lee, one of the best punters in the league. Dez Bryant to the Chargers. Justin Smiley, Brent Selleck. So there's a lot of players that have departed. They did pick up a few good ones, like DeMarco Murray as a running back, Jermaine Gresham and Witherspoon. So I think the pick is in. So let's go ahead and see who they go with.
With the first pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jameis Winston, quarterback, Florida State.
And so the pick we all anticipated has happened. Jameis Winston is going to be the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I think this is a very straightforward pick. They are probably going to be a run-first team because they do have DeMarco Murray. That tends to be the way Jedd Fisch coached the Broncos. However, he never had a quarterback like Winston, who is that gunslinger. So we will see how the San Francisco 49ers emerge from this. And now the Washington Commanders are on the clock. And then there are some tweets here. One from Adam Schefter. Former Heisman winner and national champion Jameis Winston is the number 1 overall pick, heading to the 49ers, a bold move by San Francisco to secure their quarterback of the future. San Francisco 49ers, welcome to the Bay, Jameis Winston, the newest face of the 49ers. Let's eat. And then Colin Cowherd, told you weeks ago Winston was the guy. Big arm, high ceiling, and now with the most stable franchise in football. Perfect pick for the 49ers. Don't be shocked when it works. So just a few comments there from the media. Well, now the Washington Commanders are on the clock. They also have a new head coach with Chuck Pagano and Mark Trestman as offensive coordinator, Ken Norton Jr. at defensive coordinator. 3-14 was their record. Now, there are several positional needs. They did just sign Colin Kaepernick. They drafted Johnny Manziel in the first round last year. So they could still go with Mariota here if they decided they wanted to go with maybe an upstanding opportunity for a young quarterback that's better than Manziel, and if they don't truly believe in Kaepernick. But right now they got 2 running backs, Jarquise Rogers, Bryce Brown. They've got mediocre wide receiver support. But they could decide to go somewhere on defense. So we'll see what they end up deciding to do. And now we have a trade. So news coming in from ESPN that the Washington Commanders have traded the 2nd overall pick. Let's see the details and let's see who traded up. And it's the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are receiving the 2nd overall pick and the 4th round pick, number 98. While the Washington Commanders are trading back, only moving back 3 spots, so going from 2nd to 5. They received the Buffalo Bills 2016 first round pick, and they receive a 2nd round pick, the 37th pick, and Buffalo's 5th round pick, 133 this year. So, you can let me know if you feel this is a good trade for the Bills. We have an idea as to who they might be taking with this. You don't normally trade this high up unless it's for a quarterback, so Mariota could be the pick here. Commanders, they get a king's ransom for this pick. I'm only moving back a few spots. This trade is very similar to like the Cleveland Browns and the Jaguars of 2025. And so with Buffalo on the clock here, we can see they've already made some additions to help kind of round out their team. They bring in some veterans, but really they are looking to get their main guy. I mean, the Patriots have Tom Brady, the Dolphins have Cam Newton, who just won a Super Bowl, And then you've got the New York Jets with former MVP Alex Smith. And the Bills have been looking and searching for their guy. And here it is. The pick is in.
With the second pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Marcus Mariota, quarterback, Oregon.
And it is Marcus Mariota in Hawaii. This will be potentially the longest private flight taken by any number 2 overall pick.
And so there you have it. The Buffalo Bills attempt to get their guy, Marcus Mariota, with the second overall pick in this draft. Next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts picking number 3. Now we've got the Indianapolis Colts in second-year season with Norv Turner as their head coach. They have a lot of work to do in order to compete in what is a weaker division. They're not that strong. They did make some great adjustments by adding people like Randall Cobb, Brandon Albert, Greg Olson, even Daniel Manning. Although he's older, he's still a quality safety. But they were 31st in rush defense. They were 10th in pass defense and 31st in points allowed, 29th in takeaways. So they really need some work on improving that defense. So we could see them going with a defensive player here, especially with adding Randall Cobb. We might see it as an unlikely landing spot for Amari Cooper, who is one of the more talented receivers. And here it is. The selection is in.
With the third pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Leonard Williams, defensive end, USC.
And so the Colts go with Leonard Williams, one of the best defensive prospects in this draft. Some could have said they may have gone for a Dante Fowler on defense. They look at Leonard Williams as being probably the best one. They could have looked at even Danny Shelton, but it may have been a bit high for him with the third overall pick. But the Indianapolis Colts, very satisfied, pulling in Leonard Williams. And so the Saints are now on the clock. They're in third season with Pat Shurmur, the head coach. He has gone 5-12 the last 2 seasons. Now, they have Geno Smith. They just signed Drew Brees, and he might get a chance to start as a 36-year-old quarterback. They have a lot of gaps, and right now they are bleeding heavily with interior O-line. They have 1 center and 2 left guards, and that's it. So they also are... They brought in like Eric Winston as a right tackle, but they've got gaps on the O-line. They have some gaps on defense. I think they're outside linebackers. They got Gerald Hodges, who's a 71 overall, and that's pretty much it. Xavier Gooden, 64 overall. So they've got some major holes on this team. I don't think they're going to be competing anytime soon, but I see that the pick is in. Let's go and see who the Saints decide to select.
With the fourth pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Cameron Irving, guard, Florida State.
Still not a receiver.
That is really an interesting pick right there now.
And so the New Orleans Saints are taking the center, Cameron Irving, and I know Saints fans are probably not happy about this pick, but the reason for it was because there's not a lot of good interior linemen that would have been a top 10 worthy pick. The thing with Irving, I remember as a Browns fan, because we were the ones that unfortunately drafted him, was that he was sold as a guy that could play anywhere on the line. He could play center, guard, even possibly move to tackle. So the versatility of Cameron Irving is what drew Pat Shurmur, the offensive genius, to thinking that since they're missing a center, they're missing guards, they have a lot of gaps on the O-line. The overthinking here was, well, Cameron Irving can play guard or center, and you can move him where you need him. And that versatility was a reason for Cameron Irving being a 4th overall pick over potentially some better options. They do have Sammy Watkins and Paul Richardson from last year, so some top-tier receivers, which is why Amari Cooper was likely not the pick. It was kind of early for any of the tight ends, because there's like Max Williams and there's like a few others that are more mid to late round, first round picks, if even being a first round pick. But now we have Washington on the clock once again after the trade back with the Buffalo Bills. So the Commanders are on the clock again. We've already briefly talked about them, so we're going to speed this up a little bit. And wow, the pick is in. Let's see who they go with.
With the 5th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Dante Fowler Jr., defensive end, Florida.
And so the Washington Commanders actually get the player I was going to take at number 2, and they get him at number 5 while picking up a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and then just swapping 4th and 5th-round picks with the Buffalo Bills. So Dante Fowler is going to give them an explosive pass rusher that they don't have currently. They've got some decent interior D-line, but they've had Frosty Rucker, who's been a pretty solid contributor, solid starter for them for many years, 78 overall. They've got Sam Acho, 75, but Rucker is 31 years old now, and he's been with the team for 10 years. Sam Acho is 27, but he's a 75 overall. And so now they have Dante Fowler to really give them that extra power in the pass rush, and was viewed as one of the top defensive prospects in this draft. So it's not bad going from number 2 to number 5 and picking up somebody like Dante Fowler. Now we've got the Chicago Bears, and they're on the clock. This is another team that is really needing some support on this Chicago front. Now the Bears have Josh Freeman from the Titans that they signed. No real other quarterback prospect. I might maybe bring somebody in during training camp because right now there's not really a quarterback opportunity to draft right now. But they are also wanting to try to upgrade their defense. They have not been a solid defensive unit like they were in real life. So we'll see who they take here.
The history of the Bears is all about defense. They have to go defense here.
With the 6th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Vic Beasley.
Wow.
Defensive end, Clemson.
Now, he's easily the best athlete of the edge guys. He came to the combine at 246 pounds, bench pressed 225 37 times, ran faster than anybody else, jumped 42 inches. His first step is outstanding. And Mooch, as you said, I think what he is day one is a situational pass rusher.
And so the Bears make a quick decision to improve their defense. They go with Vic Beasley. Pass rushers go very quickly, and the Bears want to try to find a way to get the best of the best. And picking number 6 overall allows them to get Vic Beasley. And so now the Tennessee Titans are on the clock. They went 7-10 last year with Coach Gus Bradley. They made the playoffs 2 years ago with their coach. But now they're looking for some greater assistance here. They have Tavares Jackson at QB, but he's just kind of under contract, sort of following through in his career as a journeyman quarterback. They have all-star receiver Greg Jennings and Matthew Slater. They have some gaps on defense. So we'll see where they decide to go with this pick.
With the 7th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Eric Armstead, defensive end, Oregon.
6'7", 292 pounds. He's barely 21 years old. His length and his power are both amazing. He's a Mammoth 5 technique. That means a defensive end in a 3-4. He's raw, but has an exciting upside.
And so the Titans end up getting another defensive end, and as you can see, it's been a very defensive-heavy top 7 right now. Now, the Titans are a 3-4, which makes sense for them to draft somebody like Eric Armstead. Now, Armstead in real life went to the 49ers on pick 17, I believe, and they have Muhammad Wilkerson at left end, Fletcher Cox at defensive tackle, and then they're stuck with Jared Odrick at 65 overall, a Taylor Hart, 62 overall on right end. They're both like 26, 24 respectively. So adding someone like Armstead really helps them in a division where they're going to need some solid defenders. Yes, there's other options they could have gone with. They could have paired Cooper or Kevin White with Greg Jennings and Matthew Slater, and that was debated in my mind. But then when I looked at what is the bigger need, and it ended up being the bigger need was defense. Because they did just sign Delaney Walker, who is going to be a superstar tight end for them. So they have some weapons. They do need some help on the interior line, but Cam Irving's already gone. And I thought taking a guard instead of a pass rusher or a kind of that run-stopping defensive end was a less valuable trade-off. So the Titans take another defensive prospect here in the top 7. Then we got the Minnesota Vikings on the clock, and they are looking at trying to get back into the playoff picture. They had an MVP year out of RG3 2 years ago, and last year he still did really well. 4,400 yards, 46 TDs, but 19 interceptions. But they have some work to do to improve this team. Kind of very thin at running back. They have decent receivers, though. They have got Rob Gronkowski. O-line's a little bit shaky. Maybe a better right tackle. They do have Joe Staley, though, on the left. But they have some needs at, let's see, we got KJ Wright joining them as left outside linebacker. That helps them. Middle linebacker is pretty weak. DBs, we got 2 good ones. The Leon Hall, Aqib Talib. Lack of depth after that. Weak at safety, so there's some stuff they could do to really boost this team. Let's see what they decide to go with.
With the 8th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Trey Waynes, defensive back, Michigan State.
6 feet, 188 pounds, long arms.
And so this pick was more of a BPA decision because there's various needs that they could go with, but I wasn't going to pick a linebacker that high, like a middle linebacker, because I didn't feel someone deserved that pick necessarily, at least for the Vikings. And then when I saw Trey Waynes was there, and he's the best cornerback in this class, at least he's the top one ranked in Madden, and I figured, the Vikings took him in real life. I mean, that was a very quick edit for me to get the audio for that because it was the literal pick. So Trey Waynes is now a Minnesota Viking like he was in real life. And now the Houston Texans are on the clock with the 9th overall pick. Now the Texans, they also have some gaps on their defense. From their defensive tackle could use some help. They are having an aging linebacking core. You've got people like Terrell Suggs, who's been great for them, but he's 32 years old with 13 seasons with the team. D'Amico Ryans, 31 years old, 10 years with the team. They do have a younger player, Levante David, at 80 overall, 25-year-old. But there's a lot of gaps here. I mean, they could use a cornerback as well. They have Bradley Roby, probably the best one, more of a younger player. But safety, they were able to pull in Nick Collins. They got Mike Mitchell. But yeah, it's kind of an aging team, and even on pass rushers. Offense, they are struggling a little bit at quarterback because they were trying to move on from Mark Sanchez, but couldn't really get anything better in free agency. So Sanchez came back. They do have Spiller, Hopkins, some weapons there, but weak on tight end. O-line is okay. So let's see who they go with.
With the 9th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Stephon Anthony, linebacker, Clemson.
Welcome to the first round, and inside linebacker Stephon Anthony. Mike Mayock, you like this kid a lot.
So potentially he is a reach, but Stephon Anthony, an inside linebacker, I guess he has a lot of size and strength. That is something that you would want from a linebacker such as a 3-4 linebacker. Now, the Texans, as I mentioned, have decent linebackers, but they're old and they're aging. And in a 3-4, you normally have 2 solid middle linebackers. And so they have D'Amico Ryans, and then it goes down to Kevin Riddick at 62 overall. So Anthony gets to be able to be mentored by D'Amico Ryans, Terrell Suggs, and then potentially be the future with Levante David. Then we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers now on the clock. They're picking number 10. Now, they do have a pretty solid defense. They are struggling a little bit right now with middle linebacker. Don't really have a solid anchor there. But they've got some veterans like Sean Merriman. They got Cameron Wimbley from the Browns. They've got Elvis Dumerville, Sharif Floyd, J.J. Watt, Deshaun Goldson, Dante Whitner. Their DBs are pretty solid. They still could go defense because Pittsburgh keeps adding defense every year and trying to get stronger in every aspect. But they were really struggling with some of the cap space, trying to bring in some superstar talent. So they were working on some of those where that lack of free agency hurt them. So they were able to bring in a left tackle, which is tremendously helpful, especially losing Joe Staley. But Ryan Clady, excuse me. But Big Ben, he's getting older, but there's no real quarterback to replace him. He might be seen as replaceable coming up. But we might have to see maybe if they can pull in some sort of playmaker, or maybe they add some more depth to their line. So let's see their pick.
With the 10th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Todd Gurley, running back, Georgia.
There you go, Marshall Faulk. We have a running back in the first round, and he's coming off a torn ACL at that.
So not really a Pittsburgh Steeler thing to do to take a running back this high. However, we needed a playmaker on this team. They already have Keenan Allen, Michael Floyd, John Brown, Aaron Dobson at wide receiver. And so instead of going with Cooper, I decided that Lamar Miller has been mediocre at best. He has like a 79 overall, but he's so bad at running. He's not, like when I'm playing with him and using him, he just feels like he can't get any yards. He doesn't fight for yards. He doesn't break through the hole or the gap and anything like that. So having someone like Todd Gurley with Ben Roethlisberger, Jared Cook, Keenan Allen, Michael Floyd, it gives them another explosive option that's going to help the Pittsburgh Steelers maybe get out of this kind of fourth seed in the AFC North. And so there you have it, your top 10 in the 2015 NFL Draft. 2 quarterbacks off the board, Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota with the big trade with the Buffalo Bills and the Washington Commanders. Then it was Leonard Williams, the first defensive player, non-QB off the board at number 3. Surprising pick, center Cameron Irving going number 4 to the Saints. Dante Fowler Jr., the edge rusher, going to the Commanders as they intended. And then Vic Beasley Jr. going to Chicago. Eric Armstead to the Titans. Cornerback Trey Waynes to the Minnesota Vikings. Stephon Anthony as inside linebacker going to the Texans. And running back Todd Gurley gets the 10th pick, which is what he was picked in real life, except for he went to the Rams instead. We still got Amari Cooper, Kevin White, Brandon Scherf. We've got Nelson Aguilar, Danny Shelton, Bud Dupree, and Devontae Parker as some of the best available players still in this draft. So to make this video not too long, I'm going to wrap it up here with the top 10, and I will continue to work on the rest of the draft. It's going to be similar engagement. The problem is I always have issues with Madden after the 10th pick where it doesn't do the holding the jersey and Goodell moment. It kind of just goes straight to the draft pick slide. So it may not be as engaging and as the same style as this one was. We'll have the same format, but it may not be with like Goodell talking and walking on the stage. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like. I have fun playing around with this content, doing way too much, probably way overboard. But hope you enjoy the creativity and the immersion in this franchise.